name is Louie Shalin, and today we are here on the first episode of Whispers of the Soul. It's going to be a very special series. We'll be inviting authors, artists, painters, and it's going to be fun. We'll be exploring their journey together, and they'll talk about their journey of exploring art. Art is no less than a journey, it's a soulful experience. Art is so special that one can literally, it's all the emotions, all the expressions that one feels, it all goes into art, and that expression forms an artist. This artist has plays a very important role in expressing their emotions that spread throughout the world, and they just go about expressing themselves. They shape the emotional foundation of for generations. Today we have a very special guest with us. She'll be joining with us soon. Her name is C A Campbell, and here she is.
Hi,
Oh, hi Campbell. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me today.
It's an honor for us. You're looking nice.
Thank you.
So, very warm welcome to you first of all, and a very warm welcome to you first of all, and it's really good to have you with us. And so we would like to know a little about you. So, yeah, can
Okay.
you tell
Yeah,
can
I'll
you
tell you about myself. So, as you said, my name is C A Campbell, or that's the pen name that I write under. I have been writing about since I was 11, including the novel that I will soon be publishing in November, which I've been writing since I was in my late teens. Um, so, I'm very excited about that to finally be publishing something. It's been about 10 years of a journey to give you a rough idea of how old I am. I am from Kansas City, Missouri. Um, and when I'm not writing, which I almost always am, I work as a neonatal intensive care nurse at the hospitals around this area. And I'm also a teacher for not one, but two different universities. And that's a new role for me to go into. I'm a professor in nursing for those places. So yeah, that's pretty much me.
so yeah, really good to know. You've been working on this novel for almost a decade, so it's going to be a beautiful experience. So how you're
Yeah.
feeling like by the time you're at the end of it, what is that you, so how you're feeling right now, like all the emotions, or
Yeah.
almost they are
I'm
just
I'm really just feeling like so excited to finally been doing it. Like a year ago, I never thought that I would have finished the book even, and here I am again, and I've just fallen completely back in love with writing and just this journey and just having so much fun connecting with people on social media and posting, stuff about my book and seeing all these people who are like, I can't wait to read your book, and it's amazing, and I'm really excited about this opportunity.
can you tell us a little about the book? Like, what is the book about? What it really describes?
So, my book is called Heresy. It is the start of a young adult dystopian series, which takes place in a world where being different is considered heresy, and heresy leads to your death. So, it centers around these three different characters who are um, the son of one of the leaders, the daughter of a heretic, and a rebel who get brought together when a bomb ignites at a national ceremony, and their fates kind of entwine. And they soon have to face decisions between survival and fighting for their freedoms and the lives of others. And really, this book's I wanted to explore kind of where the theme evolved over all these years. And finally, when I was able to write it, was when I settled on this theme of being different. because in this world it's really hard to be different because everybody has an idea of you should be this, and if you're not that, you're wrong. And I dealt with that a lot in my particular growing up place, and it's taken me 28 years to realize, hey, it's okay to be who I am, to think how I feel, to have that. And I think that's a really important lesson for young adults. And so I've just had fun exploring that, as well as just writing these characters who have been in my head for forever.
Oh wow, that's wonderful. In fact, I would say I really resonate with the idea of like the way you described being different and being different and accepting on the fact that yes, it's okay to be different, and then going about expressing that the characters and they're serious about that. It's a very strong message as well that I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to see you,
Yeah.
and it's a beautiful and it's going to be an amazing series. How it's going to be coming to the airs.
Yeah,
So,
I sure hope so. I'm excited about it.
like, which character do you like connect with the most? Like, which character do you feel is the one which is closest to your heart? The one closest to your heart.
So that's a really tough pick. There's actually two main characters because it talks about the three, and there's several side characters, but there's two main ones, and it's kind of hard to choose between them. So it's the main girl, and I think I relate to her a lot. Looking at it, I feel like a lot of characters have this trait, and maybe because that's how I felt. Like she's just this girl who's super smart, and she's trying to use her smarts in order to survive in a world where she doesn't fit in. And she's just doing her best to survive, and then she's thrown in a situation where if she chooses survival, she's going to lose things that she doesn't know how to lose. And so she has to face her own fears and her own really accept who she is, and accept that it's everyone else that is wrong, and no one should have been treating her like this. And then I have my other character who's the male. His name's Jake, and he's just super fun to write. And maybe he's like the person that I wish I could be. He's just kind of, this is who I am, and screw everyone who thinks differently. But he still has to overcome like his own positions and stuff like that to really live that way, and to turn not, oh, this is just about me, to, oh, this is about everyone, and I need to realize that this fight is bigger than just me.
Yeah, absolutely. The fight of being us. Like it is also said that life exists in the present. There is no past, there is no future. It's just, and if something had happened, it's the present at that time. That present,
Mm-hmm.
just that exists right now. It's the same question. It's the same thing for everyone, and everyone being different and same at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is, there are no two things. For example, there are two leaves. So two leaves of the same tree, they are very similar, but they can never be the same.
Mm-hmm.
Each one has its own uniqueness. So I would say that's quite beautifully put, that how everyone is different, and this is not just a fight of one individual, but it connects each one of us. It connects each one of us on that plane.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering, like, what I have been experiencing over the years, or what I've read over the years. The two of the favorite characters, as you mentioned, one is the person who the author truly is from, who the author is resonates with. Yeah, this is me. If I would have been there, this is me. And the other is maybe the one they want to be, or the one I wish to be. That
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could be that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What do you think?
I think that's probably true. I think that, this girl meets the guy, and she sees a lot of the things that she wishes that she could. She wishes she didn't have to be so afraid, even though she knows that partly he's a little bit reckless, and he is. I think she also admires him for how much he wants to fight, do what's right, and really is inspired by that, even though she's scared to admit it. And that's definitely a growth process she has to go through the book.
Well, that's nice. Nice. So how has been your journey of writing it? Like how it has evolved over these 10 years?
Okay. Yeah, so when I was a teenager, I grew up in this like very conservative Christian community. So really, when I started the book, it kind of was almost this Christian fiction thing. And then but I struggled with it because I was like, this is not. I think deep down I was like, this is not the message I want to say. Because last thing I want to say is like, hey, look, everyone should be Christian. That's not the message I wanted to send. I was like, so I broadened it and I finally figured out like, okay, well, all of these things are different. You can be Christian, Muslim, whatever religion that you believe in, or atheist, or straight, gay, trans. Like, there's so many of these things that you can be that one group or another will dislike you just because you are a part of that group. And what's that really teaching us or doing for us? It's just creating battle lines, and we're tearing each other apart. So when I figured out that and broadened it was when I could solidify this message of, look, this world will never be okay until we learn how to be who we are, yes, but let other people be who they are too, and understand that there's not one right way to be. You can believe how you believe, you can love how you love, and that's okay. But we're always going to have, like, hatred will always destroy us. And we will never have a world of peace until all people are cherished and considered worthy of love and acceptance. And that was really the message that I hit home with and ran with.
That is such a noble thought, I would say, because love and acceptance, these are one of the most primal things that one needs or one wants. Just a little acceptance of who they are. That's all one wants. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just, and after a point in life, believes that, yeah, both from no one else, but from myself, that if I
Mm-hmm.
accept, everyone might also do that, might also do the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, love and belonging are definitely, I'm a big fan of Brene Brown. So just reading all this she says about love and belonging are really the core desires of what we want. And without those, we really struggle with a lot of things. But yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, so you can go on. You were describing your journey, so how it has evolved. Like, so there have been many chapters which you might have written by the age of 15 and when you started writing the book. And as you
Oh,
grow
uh-huh.
and in your personal you may have rewritten those or you may have modified those. So how has that been for you?
So, so really, a lot of the same ideas stuck, but when I went back to it, I completely wrote it again. Like, I didn't have an old draft or anything in front of me because really what happened is I went to grad school. I went to nursing school and I wrote a lot during nursing school, but then I went to grad school and all of my writing kind of went to the wayside to focus on this. And I honestly thought that I might never do anything with writing, was trying to make peace with that. And then last October, I actually had bilateral hip surgeries. And I went from being this person that I was working 70 hours a week between my job and teaching and doing clinicals for my degree, and to doing nothing. And I needed somewhere to put my efforts. So I just like sat and wrote for 70 hours a week instead. And within 2 weeks, I had this rough draft and I had to figure out what to do with it. And it's changed a bit since that rough draft because I think that rough draft had some of the ideas still of previously, and that I wasn't hitting what I wanted to hit, and I had a lot of distracting. So going through like betas and being like, what do you think the theme is, and realizing that I hadn't captured it, I went through some more revisions to really get it there.
Hmm. Yeah, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. It mentally changes. And how has your job might have contributed to this? Because you belong to a background of nursing, and I will read. First of all, I have a little respect and regard for your profession at this point because it might have been quite taxing for you, like these times, and it must have not been that easy. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I work in the NICU, so I don't necessarily see a lot of like I'm not directly taking care of COVID patients, but I wasn't doing like clinicals in the ER when this started. And just seeing like all the different restrictions and the things that we used to be able to do, and not be able to do. Like right now with the NICU, and you have to wear face masks all the day, and it just bothers me that these babies don't to get to see faces, that they don't get to see us smiling at them or anything like that. Like that kind of makes my heart sad. um, but other than that, I'm doing okay. As a nurse, I kind of always accepted that I would be put into situations where I was put at risk, and that was just part of my duty as a nurse, and I love being a nurse, so it is how it is. But yeah, I think nursing definitely impacted writing, because I tend to write about really difficult emotions, and even in my Instagram, you'll see that I talk about some really hard kind of things. And I'm, being in the NICU, you deal with loss, and you deal with the loss of a child. And that is a really big thing. And so I wouldn't say grown comfortable with it, but I'm accustomed to walking into some really uncomfortable situations with people, into the darkest moments of their lives, and learning how to be there for them and to walk those really hard places for people. So I think it gives me a lot of empathy, which you need to be a writer and to explore these emotions, but also just having seen so many different relationships. I've seen the highest joys, and I've seen the lowest lows, and really just being able to dive into those emotions, I think, has really impacted my writing.
Wow, that's a beautiful journey. That's a beautiful journey. And so, if I'm getting it right, just walking through that, sometimes it's walking to the dark room of emotions, which are not so pleasant, and just walking through that room. And at the beginning of it, we mostly have no idea that when it's gonna end, how big the room is, how long this walk is going to be. The moment we exit from the other side, it's light. And then we realize that yes, what gained wasn't what we gained was how to walk through these dark rooms for us and also for other people.
Mm-hmm.
And like this is a very strong foundation. Was the foundation for, I would say, more than that, for acceptance. Because when we accept what is the hardest part, what is the hardest part of the situation is. So I think that really impacts our heart, and we become steady in the situation for what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
That's a beautiful journey. Yeah. So, would you like to talk about the name of the book? What motivates the name of the book, and
Yeah.
you like to?
So the book is called Heresy, and the series is called the Heretics Saga, and that has to do with um, the idea that, like, as I said, being different is called heresy. So that's where that gets the term, is what they call it. Like when you're thinking differently, if you're acting differently, if you love someone other than what this nation Arcadia tells you that you can love, then it's considered heresy, and then you're considered a heretic. So that's where this name really comes from, is the act of being different, or the act of being a heretic, which is being who you are when people don't like it.
So writing, or maybe like, this is the form of art. So writing, generally, what I believe it comes from the perspective of the author, or what they have seen through their life, and it's just an expression of how they have been over the years.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, so when we write, when an author describes a story, when an author goes about explaining it in their writing, so you picked up any instances from maybe your past experiences or some others' past experiences. So does it connect that way? Like just to know.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like my past really influences, like I said, like coming up, that the theme was a lot of me reaching this place in my life where I'm like I'm not going to be what it is that you want to be, and that's okay. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with, believing differently than you do. And I'm okay doing this because that's what's right for my life. But that's definitely impacted even things like reading back through the book, things would hit me of like, oh, that's why I put it in there. I didn't even realize that that was connecting with something personal. Like, for example, in the book, one of the villain calls a lot of the girls and asks them, are you going to be a good girl? And be a good girl now. And it took me like months to realize that I was like, oh, as growing up in a Christian thing, it's always like, be a good girl. Don't get mad. Be polite. Be, what you want to be, especially in the situation that I did, because it was a lot of like, women can't be leaders. Only men are leaders. Your real job is to be at home as a wife. And I mean, I have a doctorate. Clearly, that's not, what I wanted for my own life. And then I realized in looking at The Good Girl and seeing how the characters evolve around that. And I don't want to give too much away at the ending, but dealing with that, I didn't realize that I was processing what I went through. But totally, I absolutely think that our pasts get into our writing, which is why, I love the quote that is like, you shouldn't tell yourself that this has already been written, because it probably has been written, but it hasn't been written by you, because each person is going to have a unique viewpoint, and they're going to have their own spin of it and the own embed with their own voice of what their experience has been like. So
Right. So Campbell, a lot of some dreams inspire me, saying really appreciate your humble thoughts. There are lots and tons of love and positivity from inspire. Thank you so much.
thank you for having me. I really enjoyed talking with you.
So, would you like to talk about the parts of the book which you like the most? Because there's a long story, there's also a very long story. And just a tiny part of it, just an extract, which like is really like there's always a part which is really close to our hearts. When we just open that, or we get our goosebumps, like we are just in the moment. Would you like to talk about that?
So sorry, I missed the first part of that question because you were the connection was kind of breaking up a little.
Yeah, so I'm saying in a book, there's a story, so there's always an extract which is which is our favorite, which is the author's favorite. Would you like to talk about that? When it opens, it just gets these goosebumps and the exaggerating heartbeats that yeah, this is what you really really connect to. So would you like to do that?
Yeah, okay. Let me think about that for a second. So, I'm trying to think of a spot that's not going to give too much away for the readers.
Yeah, no, no,
Yeah,
obviously.
that's what's hard. I really like it's not the climax, but there's these like 3 chapters that
Yeah.
are really leading up to it, where the the character really faces off with with the villain, and she's been going back and forth of trying to play this game and not really make a choice, trying to just like make it all okay and not really face her fear. And she realizes that she doesn't she can't do that anymore. That she has been put between a hard place and she has to make a choice. And when she has to make the choice, she has to ask herself, what would you die for? And just that moment of what she chooses and what goes into that choosing, and really like bottom line, what is it about in this world that everyone has something that they would die for, and what is it, and what is that thing that drives you, what is worth it in the end. And in those like chapters of her making that choice, it's just like the peak of the character development, and those are, I reread those ones all the time because I really like those scenes.
Mhm. That's wonderful. So what I can get of it, there's always a part of us which we define as the true us, and there's a lot of us which define as us, but that's not really the true form of us.
Mm-hmm.
When this crossroad, we just want to make a choice. Either you take a right or you take a left. There is just, it's a dead end. You take a right, you take a, you can't go straight. So we have to either choose what's us, what's not us. And in that making the right choice, when we choose that right thing, what truly defines us, like you said, something we're ready to die for.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the true us, it just dies away in that instant.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just that moment, I think, just that moment, everything else just dies away, and the way it shreds, everything just goes away. It's a very relaxing and very relaxing moment. The
Mm-hmm.
moment we watch the part for us,
Mm-hmm.
and that's I would love to read the crossroad the way you have described it with words because it's more of, it's always the way when the reader feels when we feel with the character while standing in that instance, while standing in that position, that this all is going on, and that's exactly what we have to do, and feeling that emotion of the character, that's going to be as it really exciting.
Yeah, I hope that I caught it right. I guess that's what I always hope with my book. It's like I hope that I was able to capture what I feel and what I want the readers to get from this moment. That's always what I hope.
Hmm. Wow, that's wonderful. Anything else would you like to add about the book? Something special or something that you would mention?
Um, I don't know. We've talked about a lot of the things that I'm really passionate about this book, but um, I guess I can say that I've got a lot of good feedback from the reviewers, and I hope that, and the pre-sale is coming up really, really soon. I haven't exactly specifically said the date yet, but it's coming really soon, and so I hope that people will, keep watching my channels and follow me and keep getting excerpts, and I'm excited about the book and of course the positive content that I try to post on there. So
Yeah, of course. In fact, we all are excited for the book, and it's going to be really, really exciting to read it. Uh, Especially when you talk about the heretic, that's different because when we read it, it's not coming right from the thought, but it's coming from the emotion. It's just coming
mm-hmm.
right out. Yes, this is who I am, and I have to live up to it. And the moment we start feeling, we just connect to the characters, and we can just so much relate to the name of the book.
Mm-hmm.
And personally, we were really excited. Would be really excited to read the book, and we wish you all the best. And thank you so much for joining us. We wish you all the best. And well, also I'll be following this thing about the book, and it's going to be really fun reading that.
Yeah, I hope you enjoy it, and thank you so much for having me today. I've had a lot of great time talking to you.
Same here, same here. It was lovely, a lovely talk between us.
Mm-hmm.
It's really
All right,
all right,
pleasure.
Campbell. Bye. Take care. Have a good day.
You too. Bye.